Hey y'all, this is just a quick video on how to tap into the ARGB in your Wraith Prism. This will get you basically a free RGB or ARGB header in case your motherboard doesn't have one or in case you just need another one. However, I would not recommend doing this. This is purely an educational video. I would recommend getting an actual adapter for your 12-volt RGB header, or buying, if you don't have one of those, buying a adapter for USB to ARGB. But if you need RGB in a hurry, this is how I did it. So the first step in doing this is, of course, removing your CPU cooler, your Wraith Prism. I just put this one on here so that when we fire this thing up to test, my CPU won't overheat. The first thing you have to do is remove these 4 screws. There are 4 screws here, then both down here, and this will allow the top half of the cooler to separate from the bottom half. And once you do that, you will see this fan in here, and to remove the fan like this, you'll have 4 little tabs here, and 2 on this side that you'll have to push back, and then the fan will pop out like this. Now these 3 wires that you see running here are actually just normal ARGB header wires. You just have to know which ones are which, and the way you can do that is by looking where they connect to the fan, or the RGB light strip going around the fan here. This is VCC, which is plus 5 volts, DN, which would just be D on this diagram, and ground, which is the ground symbol. So the way I chose to run my wires was cutting through this connection you see here and splicing all these wires into the individual wires that are basically needed to plug into a normal RGB header. So I had a connector like this that I cut off and just used these wires for simplicity so I could solder them more easily. And I used this one, which I believe is ground, this last one here, which I believe is ground. Spliced it right into the ground wire there. As you can see, it's all twisted up right there. And then did the same for the other 2 wires, the voltage and the, data wire. So one final thing I forgot to mention is when you plug these things in, I found that the maximum amount of fans, RGB fans you can run off of this is 4. For me, if I try to plug in a 5th one here, it just goes kind of haywire. Again, I don't recommend doing this, period, so I wouldn't even plug one fan into it. But if you do decide to, you can see that the fans kind of go crazy. If you unplug them, they're all normal again. So wouldn't recommend doing this. Educational video. However, if you do decide to, this is the maximum amount of fans you can have. I also need to mention that, of course, these fans will be exactly synced up to your fan on your CPU cooler, which you can control through, of course, many RGB programs. That's plugged into this USB right here. So all these fans will be synced up here. There's no way to change that, because you're just tapping off these wires that go to this fan here. So anyways, thank you guys for watching.